Hello, guys. I am so happy again to be back. And today we are doing a quick video about this topic that I've been thinking about so much. Um, I have a lot of artist friends, a lot of creative friends in other areas too, but majorly all of my friends are creators and artists. And I always see them struggling a lot with um, what sort of routine, beliefs, and mentality, and self care, and you know, everything they should maintain in order to feel that glow up era. Because, see, when you're an artist, routines kind of already go out the window. I mean, it's not the same for everyone, but I have noticed this with myself and with a lot of other people that I cannot do the same things on the same timings every single day. Since I am a creative person, if I make a routine according to a timetable, for example, I have to go running at 8 a.m. in the morning, right? I've set that time for running 8 a.m., but sometimes what happens is just around that time I have a creative idea. There's a poem in my head that I want to write. There is a painting idea that I want to put down. Maybe do like a value study quickly so that I don't forget that feeling and I don't forget the idea. And doing all those things makes you realize that it's not so easy to stick to a to B routine when you're an artist, right? So this is a video not just for artists but for everybody um, who thinks that you can only have a glow up in your life when you make like a routine, like a wake up at 6 a.m. sort of a routine. See, if that's your thing, go ahead and do it. But if that's not your thing, how to actually feel that glow up happening in your life. And this is the glow up, the kind of glow up that everybody actually needs. Like, people always show you on the internet that, do this skincare routine and you'll have your glow up, do this hair care routine and then there's your glow up. I'm not talking about a skin and hair glow up. I'm not talking about a spa treatment. I am talking about the actual literal glow up that everybody needs in their life to feel whole, complete, happy, beautiful, confident, everything. Okay? Start. So, we are starting with self care. But what exactly is self care? Here you go. The first thing I want to talk about within self care is affirmations. And we can talk about these two things together. It's affirmations and it's talking to yourself in a more positive manner, which is very important. Um, See, people go out and do all kinds of things to change their outwardly appearance, right? You can go and get your nails done, you can go and get a spa treatment, you can go and get your hair done, do all of those things, right? But then when it comes to actually looking your best, you are not going to be able to do that without affirmations and without talking to yourself kindly. Affirmations are positive sentences that you repeat to yourself on the daily. It can be sentences, it can be words, it can be paragraphs. It is things that you repeat to yourself either out loud or just in your head every single day in order to integrate them into your life, right? And how this works is when you start repeating something to yourself every single day, over and over again, your subconscious takes it and lets it sit there. And when it sits in your subconscious, it starts to reflect in your everyday life. It starts to reflect in how you act, but in also your surroundings, because the way you perceive things is changing. The way you perceive your outward reality is changing. Um, if you always say maybe a little negative things to yourself, you see more of that negative stuff in your life, right? Because your subconscious is actually changing your perception to only show you those things that are happening negatively. When you start to repeat positive affirmations to yourself on a daily basis, you start to change and shift your mentality in a much bigger way than you could imagine. I've been doing these for years and years and years. Affirmations have kind of fit into my daily schedule now. The way you can integrate affirmations into your daily life for maximum impact is by starting the second you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, the first few seconds of your day, even the first few minutes, are super important to align yourself to your vision and to your goals. If every morning you wake up and you think about something that you're worried about, if you think about something negative, if you think about something that is bothering you, then that sets the tone for your entire day to come. If you wake up each morning and the first thing you do is meditate, that is the best thing you can do. But you should still meditate, but even if, for some reason you're not able to, the moment you wake up, start to repeat a few positive words and positive sentences to yourself. So if there's something that you're struggling with, change that narrative into a positive sentence and start to repeat that to yourself every morning. When I wake up each morning, I start to talk to myself in a very positive manner. I start by saying that I'm abundant, I am confident, I am successful, I am happy, I'm grateful for my mind and body, I'm grateful for waking up today. A lot of things, right? You can think of a million things to say to yourself each morning. And by repeating these things every single day, you're setting a very positive tone for the rest of your day. Now, we come to talking to yourself kindly. Why is it so important to talk to yourself kindly? It is important to talk to yourself kindly because your mind and your body are always listening. Studies have shown that water carries energy, right? And our bodies are made of 70% water. So when we talk to ourselves, that water is still carrying the energy of what we say. If you're talking to yourself negatively, the water in your body is listening to what you're saying and carrying that energy, and that is what is forming your body. So if you say a lot of negative things during the day, if you talk about a lot of negativity, if you talk about physical ailments, if you talk about diseases, talking about these things are putting you at risk of physical ailments. They are putting you at risk of disease. I know this sounds dramatic, but there are so many people that you will see who keep saying that, oh my god, my knees are always hurting, oh my god, my shoulders are always hurting, oh my god, I'm always in pain, I'm always tired. People who complain about a lot of things and all the time have more to complain about. And people who don't complain and are actually talking about how grateful they are for their body, get to be more grateful for their body because their body responds in that way, right? It's not vice versa. It's not one person having bad physical health and then complaining, and one person having good physical health and then being grateful. You keep repeating these things to yourself, which are actually then manifesting within your body and mind, be it your beliefs, be it anything. And I understand and I've seen it that sometimes people have really, really difficult lives, right? And then at a point, they are so frustrated or so tired of everything that it's difficult to be positive, to start talking positively. But that is the only way to change your life. If you're somebody who's struggling through something, change the way you talk to yourself. Do affirmations each morning. Tell yourself that you love yourself. And you know what? This might feel really, really uncomfortable in the start, telling yourself that you love yourself. People might laugh at you, and if you don't want to do it in front of people, do it when you're alone, do it in your head. But each freaking morning, tell yourself, I love you, I'm gonna take care of you, you are important, you are worthy, you deserve what you want, and you're going to have it. There are many, many, many other things that you could say to yourself, but starting somewhere is going to really, really, really help you in the future. In a few months or in a few years, you are going to be absolutely grateful to God Almighty that you started to talk to yourself in a nicer, more positive manner. Because a glow up is not just on the outside, like I mentioned before. The way you talk to yourself shows in how you carry yourself, how you look, how you feel, how you act, how you talk. It integrates into all parts of your life. And that is why it is so important to maintain a positive attitude towards yourself. And by doing affirmations and by talking to yourself in a different manner, you can start to really change the way you see yourself, you see your surroundings, and also the way you feel. Sometimes we forget and don't even notice or pay attention to how we talk to ourselves on the daily basis. And when you start to do these things, you are going to notice patterns, you are going to become more aware of the way you were talking to yourself previously. And that is great because awareness is the first step to any kind of healing, any kind of glow up, any kind of anything. If you are not aware, you are not going to want to change, right? The moment you become aware of what you were doing and saying and thinking all this time is the moment you are able to begin to change it. So when you start doing your things, you might notice that you have some negative beliefs about yourself. You maybe sort of talk to yourself in a not very kind manner, and it's okay. Even if you're doing this unintentionally and unknowingly or not even noticing that you're doing it, it's okay. You don't have to start to feel guilty or shameful that you were talking to yourself or believing things about yourself that you don't want to believe, and talking to yourself in a manner that you don't want to talk to yourself in. But here's the first step, right? Here's where you begin to change. I think the last part of self-care is physical care. And yes, physical care on the outside, all of your skincare and hair care and whatever you want to do. But physical care in the sense that You are not running your body dry by overworking it. Or if you're the kind of person who bumps into things and you're like, I don't care, oh, it's just pain. You have an injury and you don't pay any mind to it, and you think, I gotta be tough. You're sleep deprived and you just keep drinking one coffee after another, and you think that is going to fix things. You are not acting like somebody that loves you, and that is the most important part. You are supposed to act like somebody that loves you. um, when you respect and love yourself, that is when other people start to respect and love you. And there are always going to be people who do that even when you don't do that, right? It could be your parents, it could be your partner, it could be your brother or your sister or your best friend. But if you are not doing it, if you are not acting like somebody who loves you, it is not going to change anything. People can care for you all they want, but you are the person who lives with yourself every second of every day. And if you're not taking care of this body and this soul, the only one that you have, then what are you taking care of? Maybe you take care of everybody around you and not yourself, but if you just took care of yourself, you could take care of other people so much more. If you bump your knee into the wall, sit down, give it a little rub, and make sure you're okay. This is like the smallest thing that you can do. If you're somebody who works long hours, make time to sleep. Give yourself a power nap. Sleep for 15 minutes. It works, trust me. Shift your schedule around to give yourself the rest that you need and that you deserve. Because without it, it's not going to be a very long run, to be very honest. You're going to be able to maintain whatever you're maintaining for a while, but after that, you will be so burnt out you won't be able to do it. You hear people say that all the time, that I burned myself out crazy. So don't do that. Don't burn yourself out. The next part of the glow up you actually need is intentions and beliefs. I made a little note of all the things I want to talk about so that I can be very precise with this video. But intentions, let's first talk about intentions, right? And I'm talking about like 2 or 3 things together, because these are things that are very much intertwined and linked to each other. And if you do these things together, and even if you try to understand these concepts, if you're understanding them together, it's much easier to grasp the gist of it, right? So intentions, let's first talk about intentions. Each day, even if you realize or you don't realize, you're setting some sort of an intention. Even if it is confusion, that is the intention you're setting if you don't actually set an intention for anything that you do, right? Each morning, I set an intention for my day and anything important that I'm about to do that day. And how this works is, for example, if you have a really important presentation or a meeting or some sort of a work opportunity, some sort of a romantic opportunity, maybe you're meeting somebody that you really like. If you, prior to beginning that thing, if you set an intention where you sit down, you relax your mind, do a few deep breaths, and then you set an intention. For example, if you're going to meet somebody, you will set the intention that this day is gonna go really well. I like this person and the person is going to like me back. We will have amazing conversation. overall it is going to be a really happy and fulfilling day for me, then that is what your subconscious is keeping in mind when you're experiencing this thing, because you've already set an intention. It is almost like setting a timer, but for your brain, right? You tell your brain, you tell your subconscious that, you know what, this is going to be great. And then it is going to be great because your subconscious will make you perceive everything as going well. And when you feel like everything's going well, you're going to be more relaxed, you're going to be uh, more calm, you're going to be yourself. Maybe you will be able to talk to the other person in a more open way. It changes a lot of things. It changes your entire aura when you set that intention, because then your mind is aligning with what you want to feel and how you want this thing to go, right? So that is what setting an intention means. You can set an intention for a workout practice or any kind of physical activity practice, that, you know what, I'm just going to be present here and that is my intention, or I'm going to feel strong, that is my intention, or I'm going to feel beautiful, that is my intention, right? um you can set an intention for your entire day, you can set an intention for an important conversation, you can set intentions for everything in your life that you feel is important and that you want that it goes a certain way, right? Setting the intention also helps you not worry about the thing anymore. Once you've set that intention, you still might feel some jitters and some, butterflies in your stomach, but overall, um, you will be feeling more on the positive side because you've cleared your mind and you've told your mind that this is how I want things to go. If you don't know, there's this book that you can read. It is called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, or The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, something like that, by Joseph Murphy. I talk about this book a lot, but he explains exactly how the subconscious works. Next part is beliefs. Creating new and more positive beliefs about you, your life, your surroundings, the people in your life, the things that you want to do, the goals that you want to achieve. Everything that you experience in life is sort of based on the beliefs that you have about everything in life. Be it yourself, be it your surroundings, be it the people in your life, be it your friendships, your relationships, or just the world in general and what is happening in the world in general. Everything you experience is based on your beliefs, solely your beliefs. Now, as we grow up, we form these beliefs unconsciously, um, because of our experiences, and some of our beliefs can be positive, some of our beliefs can be negative, depending on how we experience our childhood and our adolescent period, or just life even right now, right? You can form beliefs even now, but the beliefs that you formed over time during your childhood and your adolescent years and all of that time are prominent in your head unless and until you change them. Now, to have the glow up that you actually need, you're going to want to change your beliefs into more positive ones. Even if you already have beliefs that pre-existing beliefs that are positive, there must be some things that you've not looked at if you haven't really thought about what sort of beliefs you carry within yourself, right? The way you change your beliefs is by first becoming very, very aware of what your pre existing beliefs are. The way you do this is by becoming super aware of the way you think, act, and feel on the daily basis. Now, all of these other things that we talked about are actually going to work better and properly if first you are integrating new and more positive beliefs in your life. If you're saying affirmation, and if you're setting intentions, and if you are talking to yourself nicely, that is going to start to shift some of your beliefs. But then if you are able to recognize your beliefs, pinpoint on them, and then decide to change them, that is going to be a lot more impactful, because you're getting to the root of it. The reasons and the way you acquire certain beliefs becomes clear over a longer period of time, because you're not always able to immediately backtrack to the time it, you know acquired a certain belief. It can be during your childhood, it can be a belief that sort of came together um, during a few different experiences that you had, right? Maybe it accumulated into this one belief. For example, if as a kid, um, your parents did not pay a lot of attention to your achievements, and then when you got older, you felt like in the office or wherever you work, whatever you do is sort of overlooked. That belief starts to set in your subconscious that, you know what, whatever I do is not enough, and I need to push myself to the brink of things so that people notice me. And it could also go another way, where you feel that nothing I do is enough, so I am not going to do anything more than the bare minimum that is required of me, right? um yeah, like, the belief can turn into a lot of different things depending on what exactly that experience was, and that is why backtracking to where it started from can take some time, even though it's really, really helpful if you can go back to thinking how this became a belief. It can also just be shifted by becoming aware of it, and then starting to um, talk to yourself in a way that is reversing it, and starting to believe that this is not the only truth. There are other possibilities to start with, and then eventually that there are more positive possibilities. And yeah, over time, that negative belief sort of breaks and breaks and breaks, and then a new positive belief starts to form where the old belief was. Changing the beliefs is going to boost everything else that you're doing within this practice. The glow up you actually need comes when your core beliefs, your values, your morals, your the person that you think you are and the person that you want to become are all aligning together. If one thing is there and one thing is there, um, you are not going to see it come together in your life. You're going to see it come together when you integrate all parts of healing and taking care of yourself. The last part is work and passions in balance. Sometimes a lot of people out there are doing what they're passionate about in life, right? And a lot of people are not able to do that right now, either because of certain situations that are holding them back, or because they don't know what it is that they are passionate about. It is always best to go out and look for what you need. Don't leave your job and run away. That is not what I'm saying. But make time to understand what you're passionate about. And once you realize what it is, make time to practice it. We as humans have a huge spectrum of emotions and ability to experience things, feel things We require art and poetry and movies and entertainment and adrenaline and adventure in our lives, because we are not here to just survive. We are here to experience the things that we are passionate about. Once you find that thing and you practice that thing, that is when you realize that that is the true purpose of life. That is when you feel the most satisfied, the most content, the most happy, and the most relaxed that you've ever felt. Animals are here to just survive. They are happy when they are healthy, when they have a full stomach, when they have slept, when they are not injured. They're happy, they're calm, they're relaxed, they're not looking for something to fulfill them. But we are, the entire human race is looking for fulfillment. Fulfillment that they try to find in grabbing attention, that they try to find in competing with other people or looking better or acting better or feeling like they are better than other people, right? Sometimes maybe somebody's doing something and you think to yourself, if I did that, if I achieved that, or if I did that workout, or if I had that body, I would feel content. But that is never true. You want that body or that workout or that achievement because you think that that person is becoming content through it, which might or might not be true, but either way, somebody else's contentment is not the path to yours. Your contentment can only come through your own passions, your own experiences, your own fulfillment, which is going to be unique to you. It is not going to be something that somebody else did that you just follow and you feel the same contentment that they feel doing it. They are a different person. They have different motivations, they have different aspirations, they have different lives, they are a different person. You are you and they are them. If they are happy and content doing something, take motivation from them, take inspiration from them, but do your own thing, because nothing that somebody else is doing is going to work out the same way for you. So that's that. I really hope that this video helped you guys in some way. Even if you're able to integrate 5 or 10% of whatever I talked about in your life, it is going to create a shift that will be visible to you. It's not just going to be stuff that you do in the background, but it is stuff that you do in the background that shows in the foreground, right? I just had this like really strong urge to talk about all of these things because I have so many artist friends and creators and just creative people in general, and even other people who are not into creative fields, but I believe that everything is a creative field. But there are so many people in my life that are trying to align to a vision that they have for themselves. And the way to do it, the way to feel it within yourself, is by taking care of yourself. Sometimes we have these doubts, whether we should give all of our time and energy and all of our focus to our creative ideas, our artworks, our projects, or whether we should focus that energy on ourselves. But the truth is, once you focus that energy on yourself is when you will be able to create exactly what you're wanting to create. When you are aligning exactly with who you are, that is when you can align your projects to what you want to put out into the world. So yeah, I think this should be really helpful. And let me know in the comments what you guys liked about this video, which parts you would like me to get deeper into in the future, which parts kind of cleared up what doubts you had about how to go about shifting your life. And yeah, how are you going to start working on the glow up that you actually need? Tell me all of it. I want to know. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.